For today's session, you will need a few blankets, possibly a bolster if you'd like it, your yoga mat, your practice journal, a strap or a hand towel, as well as possibly an eye pillow at the end of practice for your Shavasana, however you like to get really comfortable, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and get seated. And I'd like you to make sure that you're propped appropriately. Today, we're going to really focus on stretching and toning and strengthening our legs and all the areas around the knees to be very supportive. So this practice can be supportive to anyone who's had a knee replacement, anyone who has trouble with their knees. We really want to make sure that we are strengthening all the muscles around the knees so that the knees get the support that they deserve. All right. So that is what our physical practice is going to look like. Most importantly, I want you to think about allowing yourself to think beyond your current situation. So I'm going to read you a little something as you sit in your nice, comfortable seat. So you can sit in a chair, you can sit on the floor. Either way, I want you to lengthen up through the spine, nice little chin tuck. And relax the shoulders away from the ears and try to bring your presence inward. Go ahead and take some deep breaths here. I'm going to have you listen for a moment. How can the mind overcome this illusion? The illusion of life, okay? So, first, through constant contemplation on the illusionary nature of worldly pleasure, the mind must overcome its craving for worldly objects. Second, the mind must recognize its true nature and maintain the awareness constantly. Forgetting the true nature of the self is what makes human beings subject to timidity, weakness, fear, and insecurity. And it is this forgetfulness that causes us to keep searching for a haven in the external world. But once we realize our inner self, we are free from the charms of the world as well as the fear of death. I will tell you another ancient tale to illustrate this point. Continuing to breathe, relax in your body. Once a lion cub was separated from the pride right after birth. His eyes had not yet opened, and thus he never saw his mother. He was helpless. But after a few days, a flock of sheep happened by, so he joined them and was raised with the lambs. As a result, he identified with the sheep and learned to behave like them. He learned to follow others blindly, to be afraid of dogs, and to submit when he was whipped by the shepherd. He grew to full adulthood, but because he constantly saw the sheep that surrounded him, and because his identification with them was complete, he had never noticed how big he was or what sharp, powerful claws he had. He never found out how fast he could run, how high he could jump, how loud he could roar. One day, another lion crept up on the flock and let out a tremendous roar. The flock scattered. The young lion, who was as frightened as the sheep, ran away too. But in full flight, he happened to see his reflection in a pond. And to his astonishment, it resembled the lion he was running from. He was confused. Why didn't he look like the other sheep? He went back to examine the reflection. At first, he was disappointed because he expected to see a sheep, but this quickly turned into curiosity. As an experiment, he tried to roar like the lion he had just heard and found that he could. This filled his mind with delight and wonder. He jumped and roared some more and relished the realization that he was truly a lion. He never returned to the flock, but joined the pride and lived as the king of the forest. You see, Rama, through our identification, we create a self-image, and based on that, we create a reality. If this identification is false, we are victims of falsehood. If the identification is correct, then we are fortunate enough to live in the light of truth. Take a few more deep breaths, really breathe into the belly, let it expand. And as you exhale, exhale all that air fully, completely. Good. So go ahead and come onto your backs into bridge pose. I want you to just take a few moments to focus on welcoming in the truth, whatever that means for you, so that you can identify with the fullness of who you are. Sometimes our bodies feel like they are limited, and rightly so, may have physical challenges. Maybe the knees, maybe our wrists. But I want you to still come back to this idea of welcoming in the fullness of you. Inhale for a count of 4, drawing everything up, bring the arms up, the hips up. Exhale for a count of 4. So continue, press through the feet, draw the hips up, inhale, expand through the belly. And as you exhale, carve out, narrow out that belly. Good. Inhale, exhale. Couple more, just like this, at your own pace. Maybe you need to inhale for 5, exhale for 5. Keep the breath balanced. And I really want you to think about connecting to your belly. On this next one, hold everything up, leave the arms overhead. As you exhale, carve out that belly, narrow it out, drive the navel to the spine. Inhale, fill the whole belly expanding. And then on your next exhale, draw everything back down. Good job. Now we're going to do the same thing on our belly, really connecting to our breath before we move. You're going to feel the belly on the mat. I'm going to have you fold your forearms and then place your forehead on your forearms. Focus on breathing into the belly, feeling it expand in all directions. And then as you exhale, feel it contract. I'm going to keep this balanced breathing. So inhale for 4, exhale for 4, or if you have a little more to inhale, you can inhale for 5, exhale for 5. But we want it to be cyclical. So inhale and exhale. No stopping, no pausing. Feel that expansion of the belly. Feel it opening up through the back. And as you exhale, drive the navel to the spine. And then imagine that you're exhaling through the low back, letting everything out. A few more times through. Good job. Now gently, slowly press into tabletop position. Right, if it's too much on your knees, you can always bring your blankets underneath the knees, wrists below the shoulders, knees below the hips. Inhale into your cow. Exhale into your cat. Just go back and forth a few times through. As you continue to move through this table to cat and cow, I want you to welcome in again this idea of whatever the truth is that you need to allow yourself to see, to be revealed, to be understood about yourself versus what you believe to be your reality. Anything that's false. Imagine that you're receiving information, that you're welcoming in the fullness and trueness of you, your full capacity, your full knowledge. On your next exhale, arch through your cat and come all the way into child's pose. If your knees are really tight, you can always sit on a blanket or maybe even widening your knees a bit. Imagine that as you're breathing here, you're exhaling all the way through that back, feeling the lengthening, stretching through the spine, through the low belly, through the hips. Great job. Inhale, come forward. And let's step to the top of our mat. I'm going to have you move into Tadasana. Lift your toes, okay? Lift them up and then gently place them down. So the foot feels more active. Let's try not to claw at the floor, but feel that active foot. Feel the uplifting of the arches. Feel a connection through the calves, the shins, all the way up the body. Good. Relax the shoulders and the hands at either side. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the waist. Bend the knees if you need to, and bring your hands to the floor or bring them to your shins. Inhale, look up, flat back. Again, on the fingertips or press into your shins with your palms. Press your palms into your shins. Exhale, step the right leg long behind you. Let's open up through your legs. I like to keep my back foot tucked. You're going to shift your hips forward just a bit so that you can open and lengthen through the thigh. Bring your hands to your left thigh, just gently. Good job. Continue to focus on expanding through the belly and exhaling, drawing everything out completely, fully. Inhaling, opening, expanding, exhaling fully. On your next exhale, let's step into plank. Get yourself set up. You can either chaturanga or you can drop your knees and work on your inchworm. Bend the elbows, work on those triceps. Inhale forward, coming into your cobra. Good. Exhale, down dog. Shine the sit bones up towards the ceiling. Maybe you want to pedal it out. Then when you're ready, you're going to pick up that right leg and you're either going to step it or walk it to the top of the mat. Drop the left knee this time. Bring the hands up on top of the right thigh. Slowly shift your hips forward so you can feel that stretch in the thigh, maybe even in the inner psoas area. Good. Welcome in the knowledge of the truth of you, whatever that is. Just let it start to come today, tomorrow, next week, and let go of anything that is not serving you. Any beliefs that you've really set your mind to about who you are, what you're capable of, what your body can or can't do. See if you can set those things aside and open up to receive the truth, whatever that is, whatever that might mean. Good. Exhale, step to the top of the mat. I like to kind of bob my back foot. Step forward, fold. Good. Let the head hang for a moment. When you're ready, bend the knees. Sweep yourself up into a baby chair. Exhale, deepen. Sit back, sit back. Inhale all the way up. Maybe a mini back bend. Maybe we're not ready for that yet. And exhale. We're going to do this again. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold. Good. Inhale, up. Flat back. Step the right leg long behind you. Work on opening up through the front of that right thigh. Into the hip. Maybe dropping in just a little bit. Still squeeze those inner thighs. You don't want to just drop forward without engagement and a firm foundation. Good. Exhale. Let's step into plank. Again, you can either do chaturanga or you can drop the knees and work on that tricep and that inchworm. Inhale forward into your baby cobra. Squeeze those elbows. Exhale, down dog. Pedaling it out. Lift the toes. Breathe. Pick up your right foot. Either step it or walk it to the top of the mat. Drop that left knee. Coming up. Again, focusing on stretching the front of that left thigh all the way deep into that left hip. Good. Again, don't just drop forward. Zip everything up. Feel an engagement. Feel the firm foundation below you. Welcome in truth. When you're ready, we're going to step forward. Like to pick that back heel up and step forward, fold. Good. Bend your knees. Bring your fingertips behind you on your next inhale. Sweep up into your baby chair. And then deepen, sit back. Inhale all the way up. And hands to heart. Great job. All right. Gonna have you step your right foot down. Really get it down. Step your left foot back. There's a line, an imaginary line down the center of your mat. Hips are forward. We're coming first into warrior one. Press and engage. Pull. Feel the strength and power of your legs. Feel that foundation. Inhale, engage. Open up and expand through the belly, but at the same time, feeling that lock, right? There is an engagement here, and yet you can still feel the expansion. Good. Inhale, draw everything up. So straighten that front knee, micro bend. Exhale, come down. Align it with your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Keep going. Last one. Good job. Press down through the legs. See if you can relax the toes just a little bit, although you feel this firm foundation, the strength. Now turn the back toes to the left. Press that knee forward. Make sure that the knee is not dropping in. Externally rotate. Good. And then bring your arms up. We're in warrior two. Make sure that as you've turned your toes, your knee is not feeling twisted. Okay, good. Bend. Find a lightness if you can through the shoulders, through the arms. Play with your fingers. Feel the energy of the fingertips out, fingers out wide or together. Find the subtlety, those little shifts. Then inhale, bring that arm up towards the sky. Palm has been flipped. Back hand back. Good. Exhale back to warrior two. And let's turn back into warrior one. Good job. Step to the top of the mat. Pedal it out. We're going to move to our warrior on the left. Settle that left foot. Right foot back. Good. Press down. Engage. Good. Feel the strength. Feel the power. Open up through the belly. Good. Inhale. Straighten that front leg. Micro bend. Exhale. Arms down. Inhale. Exhale. Find the lightness through this movement, through the arms. Although there is so much power and strength through this foundation of your legs, just a few more. Two more. Last one. Good. Turn the back toes out to the side. Open up so now the hips are facing towards your right. Watch that the left knee doesn't fall in. Externally rotate. Good. Press through the legs and then draw the arms up. Find a lightness through the hands. Experiment. Notice what the energy is like when you have the fingertips out wide. Relax the hands. And then bring the fingertips together. Notice those little energetic shifts. Keep breathing. Now flip the palm on the front and draw it up towards the sky. Good job. Keep breathing, expanding through the belly. Exhaling, driving the navel to the spine. Great work. Inhale, bring the hands back down. Turn the back toes. Warrior one, then back foot. Come up onto the ball of the foot, step to the top of the mat, pedal it out. Great job. Now we're going to work on mountain pose, okay? Oh, so again, important thing to be doing is making sure that all the muscles are being recruited when we are doing our work, right? So what I'm gonna have you do is mirror me. So move to your right, just ever so slightly. Really focus on using that leg and then lift the opposite leg up. Good. Now start again, making sure that everything is mountain. And move just so slightly and then pick up the foot. Good job. Feel the mountain, feel the balance, feel all the little muscles on fire, integrating, being used, and gently bring that down, shake it out maybe, and we're gonna do the other side. So left leg, that's on, moving just ever so slightly so that the left leg is in charge, lifting the opposite. Good, bringing everything down, pedaling it out. Nice job. So now while we're here, we've already done quite a bit of leg work. So let's go ahead and continue on with a balance pose. So we're gonna do tree. Now, we're gonna keep our tree very basic because again, we really want to incorporate all these little muscles, make sure they're all firing. So let's start with our right leg. You're going to do what we just did. Then you're going to kickstand your other foot, swivel it open, and then just bring it to the calf, not on the knee, not even above the knee. And then I want you to imagine that you're zipping those two things together. There's a lifting. It's happening from the low belly and drawing up. So you're not kicking your hip out. It's zipped up and long and lengthened. Good. Just like what we did, bring your hands to your heart. Really focus on squeezing the legs together and that high lifting sensation as though you're drawing everything up towards the sky. Breathe. Expand through the belly, even though you're probably feeling that nice contraction of the Uddiyana Bandha on fire to help you stay, to help you be grounded and lifted. But expand as you breathe and contract as you exhale. Good. Gently bring everything down, pedal it out. I'm gonna do the other side. So left leg, right? We're gonna lean over just slightly so that the left leg is in charge because you are mirroring me this time. And then you're going to swivel out that leg, squeeze the sole of the foot into the meaty part of your calf. Good, squeeze them together, zip everything together, the low belly, all the way up. Good. Try not to dump into that hip, zip it up. Hands can come to the heart. Good, squeeze and engage. If you're noticing yourself like a claw-like foot into the ground, see if you can relax those toes just a little bit. Good, breathe. Feeling the engagement through the thighs, through the calves, through the shins, as you recruit the muscles needed to support the knee. Gently, slowly bring that leg down. Good job. Pedaling it out. Let's go ahead and now work on our chair. So we're going to take our chair a little bit farther than we did before. So we're going to also implement the same thing that we were just doing where we were on one leg a little bit, but we're going to work up to it. All right. So we're going to start somewhere, not quite in the middle of my mat, but you can be wherever you want. So you're going to start to sit down just a little bit. So we're like on a stool, okay? Bring the arms up, or you can either bring them into airplane, whatever's going to be nice and relaxed on your neck and shoulders, okay? So here we are. Make sure that the thighs and the calves, you can feel them, even though they might not be as engaged. Feel that low belly as well. Start to recruit those little tiny muscles. Such a minute movement. Good. Now exhale, deepen. Okay, nice work. Engage, engage, engage. Inhale, draw yourself all the way up. Hands to heart. All right, now let's take it to the next level. Inhale back up to that little tiny chair. You're on a stool. Exhale, really sit back and deepen. Now, let's get that left leg in charge. Slightly move over the top of it. Just a little movement so that it knows, pick up the right leg. I'm going to just face you for a minute. Pick up the right leg. Feel the engagement. Feel the strength. Feel the power of your legs. Expand through the belly on those inhales and then contract. Good. And let's gently bring it down and press through the legs. Draw yourself all the way up. Good. Relax everything. Pedal it out. We'll do the other side. Sitting down. Good. Arms wherever they feel best. Let that right leg now be in charge. Shift onto it. Pick up the left leg. Nice work. Just 2 more breaths right here. And slowly lower, pedal it out. We're going to take it a little bit further now. So we're not going to only do chair pose and do it with balance, but we're also going to incorporate a little bit of a extra hip movement here, or hip opener. So it's what it looks like. You're going to sit back down just like you had been. And then you're going to let that one of the legs be in charge. You're going to pick up the opposite leg, just like we did with tree. This time you're going to put it over the thigh. Okay? So it will look like so. All right, so get ready if you haven't already. Move to one side, pick up the opposite foot and leg, and put it on top of the thigh. Check in with your neck and shoulders. Maybe you want to be doing airplane or cactus. Feel an expansion through the belly and a contraction on the exhale. Try to relax those toes, letting go of any claw. When you're ready, press through that leg, take it off, pedal it out. We're going to do the other side in just a moment. Good. Sitting back. When you're ready, pick up the opposite foot, place it over the thigh. Great job. When you're ready, pressing back up, pedaling it out. Let's move into a nice wide stance on your mat. We're going to come into goddess pose. So you're going to bend those knees out. You're externally rotating your thighs, so not falling in. Good. And then when you're ready, you're going to have a nice tall spine. And you're going to bring your arms up. Now see how engaged you are at your core, how engaged you are through the legs, okay? Again, you may be clawing at the floor with your toes. Now, once you find that engagement, the firm foundation, see if you can relax in it a bit. Although we are still firing those abdominal muscles, although our legs are on, where can you find a little peace, a little rest, a little ease? Vistaram and Sukham. Keep breathing. Great work. Gently press through the legs, drawing yourself back up. Let's heel toe it in just a little bit and come into a nice big squat, Malasana. Right, this time you're going to place your elbows on the inside of your knees and press till you can bring your hands towards your heart. Try to roll the shoulders down and away, keep the neck nice and long. Now, if for whatever reason your feet do not reach the floor all the way, you can stand or basically put your heels on a blanket so that you can press into it to help you with balance. Keep breathing. Great job. Gently, slowly bring the hands to the floor. Press into your elbows for a moment. Start to press and coming back up. Nice. Now we're going to reach for our strap. We're going to do extended hand to toe pose with our strap. Now, if you have a hand towel, that will probably work as well. So we've done a lot of balance. This pose requires balance, and it also requires you to use all of your leg muscles. So this is a great one to, again, recruit the workings. So what this looks like is you are going to put your strap around the leg. I'm going to have you start with your left foot, okay, because you are looking at me, all right? Now, you're going to just ever so slightly come over the right leg and start to lift, just like we did with our Tadasana to begin with, just like we did with our chair. Then you're going to pick your leg up and kick it forward. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. Now, the thing about this pose, if you have long enough arms, you might be able to use your fingers right around your big toe. But the thing about this pose is most of the time we take that arm and we really hold our leg tightly. We're using our arm more than we are even our leg. But what I want you to think about as you do this pose is releasing the tight grip on the strap. In theory, you should be able to just hold your leg up in front of you. Now, you might need to work up to this. It is difficult, and I find it to be very hard to sustain it. So you're using the strap for balance and to remind your leg to recruit the extra muscles around the knee to hold yourself up. Keep breathing. Relax your arm if you can. Lift that leg and take breaks as needed. Try to hold this for at least 3 breaths at a time for 3 rounds. Then we'll move to the other side. You might get a little bit of a strain. See if you can relax through the thigh. When you're ready, move to the other side. Now, let's make our way down to the floor. I'm going to first rest on my right side. Either side, we're doing the same things. Whatever feels most comfortable, please do that now. All right. I'm going to have you stack your legs so you're on the knife blade side of your body. You can either cradle your head in your hand or rest your head on top of your upper arm, right? Then you can grab your strap. Now, some of you might be able to reach your big toe here and hold it up. So this time, you don't have extra gravity, making it difficult to do this pose. But right now, we just want to get a nice stretch. So you want to draw that leg in, maybe holding it here with your fingers. But right now, just a nice little stretch, opening up. Breathe. Two more breaths just like this. And then when you're ready, gently, slowly rolling over to the other side and setting yourself up for the same pose. We're gonna hold this for 5 to 8 breaths. Trying to keep it really simple, really just focus on stretching. Try to relax here. Open up through the hamstring, the calf, the inner thighs. Just notice in your body where there's tension and where you can allow there to be ease. Coming back to this idea of welcoming in truth. Truth would be ease. Truth would be flow. Truth would be the simplest thing. And then when you're ready, gently, slowly coming back down. And I'd like you to come onto your belly when you're ready. So similar to how we started our practice, just right on the belly. I'm gonna have you stack your forearms just like we did at the beginning. But this time I'm gonna have you bring your feet wide on your mat, maybe even off the mat. Tuck your toes and then engage your legs so much so that the thighs start to lift off the mat ever so slightly. Okay, good. So now pick up your forehead and put your chin on your forearms. Inhale, one elbow up. Exhale, back down. Inhale, the opposite elbow up. Exhale, back down. You should start to feel an engagement and movement through the low belly, through the low back. Good. Inhale, exhale. Keep going. Press through those legs. Two more. Bring everything down. Bring the hands towards the hips. Shake out the hips. Untuck the toes. Just allow yourself to have a little bit of a break right here. All right, now coming back up, you're gonna have your feet wide on the mat just like before, but you're gonna untuck the toes. Your hands are gonna come in front of you. They're going to touch palm to palm, and you're gonna lift the body up. Then you're gonna squeeze the legs together and the elbows down as you exhale. Inhale, widen, bring the palms together. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale. Keep going. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, exhale. 5 more. Last one. Bring everything down, find the opposite cheek, shake out the hips. Good job. I'm gonna have you come up onto your forearms again. And now, depending on your body, you may need to use your strap. And I'm also gonna add an addition, depending on. So I'm gonna have you bend one foot towards your glute, and I'm gonna have you reach for it. If you need the strap, grab your strap or your hand towel and reach. And then press your foot towards your glute so that you can feel a stretch through the thigh. Now, for some of us, this isn't gonna get us what we need. So what I like to do is I like to stack a couple blankets underneath my hip and low belly so that it raises my leg a little bit more. So when I press, I've got gravity helping on the stretch. So you can try it out depending on if you need that. Good. And then you can see that it might give you a little bit more. So work on holding this and breathing and opening through the front of the thigh and into that hip on whatever side you started with. for a count of 5 breaths. Inhale completely, exhale fully. And gently release if you haven't already. Bring yourself into table. If you need to move your blankets because you are using them like I am, go ahead. Maybe wave through the spine for a minute. When you're ready, moving into the second side. Take your time. When you're ready, gently and slowly releasing. Moving any blankets off to the side. I'd like you to come back down onto your backs, moving into the bridge pose that we started with. Just do a few dynamic bridge poses here, but before we get started, I want you to press your elbows into the floor, pick up your chest, draw the shoulder blades down. So when you start to draw everything back down and release, you feel a little bit of space along the spine, or at least part of the spine. Good. All right, we're gonna inhale slowly, bringing the hips up, the arms up. Exhale slowly. Just imagine that the energy is coming down. Keep going, inhaling and exhaling. As you do so, connecting again to that expansion in the belly, the contraction towards the spine on the exhale, and that you're open and ready to receive the truth of you, releasing any parts of your known reality that don't serve you anymore, any falsehoods, whether it makes sense now, whether it just shows up and comes clear within the next week, 2, just allowing yourself to set the intention that this is possible for you to create a real understanding of who you are. One more bridge pose. Then draw your knees in just gently to the chest. Inhale your feet to the ceiling. Exhale the knees to the chest. Inhale again, feet towards the ceiling. Knees to the chest. Last time, inhale the feet to the ceiling. Now draw those knees in, wrap them in, roll and rock from side to side. Giving your low back and your spine just a little mini massage. Keep the right knee in, lengthen the left leg, flex that foot, engage. Keep the leg off the ground, keep the leg moving. Hold it up, switch. Keep breathing. Switch. Last time, switch. Both knees in. Bring the arms out to a T and roll the knees to the left. If you like, if it's available, you can turn your head to the right. Just let everything go into the floor. Inhaling completely, exhaling fully. Letting go of the challenge of today. Letting go of the challenge of whatever falsehoods might be challenged. Inhale back to center and drop your knees to the right. Turning your head in the opposite direction if you haven't already. It's available. Inhaling back to center and rolling to one side. We're going to set ourselves up for Shavasana with our 2 blankets. If you need another one to actually have over your body to cover it, that's fine. But you're going to open up your blanket like so, and then put it in half the lengthwise, okay? Then put it down the center. Ooh, that's that. So put it down the center, nice and flat. And then the same with the next blanket. When you lay down on the blankets, I want you to make sure that your head is not hanging off the blanket, but that your whole torso is on there. And then you'll feel a very gentle downward energy along the hips and along the legs. Just allowing the hips and the legs to really relax. We can get into the deep, deep muscles located within. If something doesn't feel right for whatever reason, the low back is aching, you can always put a bolster under the knees. And again, if you are cold or chilly, you can put on your socks, maybe grab a sweater. And then finally, maybe you'd like to use your eye pillow or a scarf to block out the light. As you settle in here, I want you to watch the rise and fall of the belly in your mind's eye. And I want you to imagine that as you inhale, you're inhaling your truth. And as you exhale, you're releasing anything that's false, anything that no longer serves you, anything that's keeping you from your actual truth, whether you can name it or not. You're just setting that intention. Settle in. Beginning to deepen your breath in your bellies, bringing a gentle awareness to the fingers and toes. And then when you're ready, gently, slowly rolling over to your right side to push yourself up to a comfortable seat with your eyes either closed or downcast. Lengthening up through the spine, a slight chin tuck. Inhaling for a count of 4, pausing for a count of 2, exhaling for a count of 4, pausing for a count of 2. Continuing to breathe this way. Now, if you are pregnant or if you are struggling with the pauses, you can let them go. I want to make sure if we are pregnant, we are allowing the free flow of breath, prana, towards the baby. Otherwise, these small gaps accentuate, in this case, this particular pranayama, the calm, the balance. Inhale for 4, pause the breath for 2, exhale for 4, pause the breath for 2. Relax through the body, allow the shoulders to drop away from the ears, allow the crown of the head to start to draw even further up towards the sky, even if it feels more figurative. Relaxing through the form and structure of your seat. Release your breath work. Breathe normally. Bring your awareness to the navel. I want you to see a flame at the navel center. Maybe this flame looks like a candle flame. Maybe it looks like a fire. Either a campfire or fire in a chimney, fireplace. Let's see a flame at the navel. See that flame begin to grow in all directions and notice the colors within the flame. Maybe a red, white, a yellow, blue. And imagine that as you view this flame from within, that you feel a sense of purification, a cleansing from the inside out. Allowing your vessel to see clearly, to be available for the truth. Burning away anything that would keep you from the fullness of you, whether you can name it or not. Again, simply setting the intention to burn away any falsehoods, negativity, anything that no longer serves you, behaviors, habits, thoughts, maybe even ideals of what you thought your life should be like, what you thought you should be like. And open yourself up to what could be. Continuing to focus on the flame at the navel. Feeling that sense of purification and a gentle heat. Gently and slowly releasing visualization, this meditation. Slowly tuck your chin towards the chest. Bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Thank yourself for making time for you, for making time for yoga. And I'd like you to take some time to journal with this question. If I knew what my true reality would be, I knew who I really was deep down, what do I know? Just allow something to bubble up. Doing a journal practice immediately after a yoga practice, immediately after your meditation or visualization, your prana work, can allow you to be more connected to that intuitive side, more connected to the divine energy. Allow it to come forward within you. Don't gatekeep it. Don't make sense of it. Just allow it to flow. If you have any questions, if you'd like to share what you have found out, what is coming forward, I'd love you to add it below here. And feel free to reach out if you have any special requests for any of our sessions. I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.